Hey, it's Jeff. I'm here today to talk to you about how to draw the phenology circles or phenologic circles and cycles that we were talking about last week in class. The geometry of these is fascinating, and I absolutely love geometry. There's a guy named Jim Tolpin who lives out in Washington, and he wrote a great book about how to lay out furniture and anything. How to lay out furniture and boats and absolutely anything using nothing but a compass and a ruler, a plumb bob maybe, the span of your hand. It's very, very simple organic things, and this cycle falls right into his wheelhouse. Falls into mine too, because my mother was a Pennsylvania Dutch folk artist, and she painted hex signs. And hex signs are all based on the same six-sided circle, or the sixth circle divided into 6 segments that we're going to be talking about today. So I grew up drawing these, sitting with my mom, and she showed me these relationships, and I've used it all through my life. In fact, I do some Pennsylvania Dutch folk art also based on this math. So I was a math teacher for years and years and years. Most of my 33 years, I taught math some point during the day. And this is math without numbers, my favorite kind of math. In fact, before the pandemic, I planned to teach a summer camp for middle school kids on math without numbers. So we're going to do math without numbers today. And I've got a compass, and it's just a piece of regular paper. This is 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I just pulled right out of my stock. And I'm just going to draw a circle somewhere in the center. You could be careful and measure to the center. But there is our cycle. I wish a marker fit in this because you'd see it better, but it's there. And I'm going to mark the center just so you know that it's there. I'm going to zoom in too. We've got that ability. There you go. So there's that circle. Now, the phenologic circle that we were studying the other day, and there are all kinds of variations, and I've posted these on the Facebook group, but they have a home base in the middle where you draw the environment or your perception of home, and I've even seen people put haikus and poems in here. And then around the outside, they put the months or the days. I've actually seen one divided all the way into months. And we're not going to talk about that today, but I will address it. I think it's important. We're going to talk about how to divide this, how to divide this into months, and we're going to do one into 4 so you can do seasons or life cycles. Remember this. So let's start with it. The 12 is actually easier. Actually, 6 is the easiest. Making it into 12 is a little harder. This is going to make you draw upon the math skills that you had or that you were taught in 5th and 6th grade. At least I was. They were called constructions. I love the days we did constructions. So I just extended these a little bit more because we've got some room around the outside. And I'm going to make a second circle. And actually, I want to work from that circle since there's room for it. And that marks where we're going to put those titles around the outside. I'm not going to mark the center one to the end because I want to keep this compass right where it is. All right, so this part's easy. You pick any point on your circle, and I'm going to go just for the top center because I want it to appear aligned with the page. And if I were really being careful with this, I'm sorry, there it is. If I were being really careful with this, I would use a square and make sure that everything's set up right. But we don't have to. So we're going to start on this point. And if you do not move your compass, remember it's set right there on that line. If you don't move it, it will evenly divide the circle into 6. So you can just go around like that. Just walk your compass around, put the point on one side, and strike on the other. And I don't know, I always seem to be a little off at the end, but that's my inaccuracies, not the math. And this one is almost perfect. So now we've walked that off, and we actually have those 6 segments. Now we're looking for 12, but we're halfway there, aren't we? So there are those 6 segments. So I'm going to go ahead and connect those through the center. So if there's some reason you were going to do a 6-month cycle or I don't know, 6 somethings, you're done. There it is. Bam. Now, the logical way to make this into 12 is just to divide each of these in half. And the construction to bisect or to divide a triangle into two equal parts is pretty easy to do. And we can work from either of these circles. We just have to work from one of them. The distance apart doesn't matter, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. Actually, I probably shouldn't have. I'm going to put it back. And I'm going to go to this outside where it hits the line and make a strike way out here in space. We do the same thing over here. Oh, I need to come back because I didn't cross. There we go. Where those two lines cross, and we run that line through here, it's going to perfectly bisect those two triangles. And remember what I said, if this is set, I'm going to make sure it is set exactly right, and it is, we can walk off 6. So we just walk that off now from this one. Could we go through and bisect every triangle? We sure could, but there's no need to. And I did that one just to check, and we ended right on it. And now I'm going to go ahead and connect those lines. Now that just leaves making the home circle. So I'm just going to squash this down to what I think is reasonable. I need to adjust the pencil a little bit. It's too far out. One moment. There we go. And I'm just going to strike that circle. And erase these lines from the middle. Of course, I would slow down and do this lightly. I'm doing it dark so you can see it. It'd be great if we had a compass that marker would fit in. But there you get all 12 months. So you can start here and mark these. I'm just doing 3-letter abbreviations right now. January, February. I'll spell out March. I guess you'd spell out April or APR. I don't know. April, May. You know the idea. You know what the months are. So whatever your theme is, you could just go outside and whatever's blooming, whatever birds are at your feet, or what the trees are doing. The weather. Weather is very popular. In fact, a lot of these have a circle like here where you put the weather in, especially the monthly one I saw. Months, isn't that great? So you get to divide this into 30 or 31. I guess I would just generalize and make 30 divisions. I have to think about how to do that. It can be done. There's no question about it. So there's how you divide into 6 or to 12. Now let's go back to the 4. So we'll do the same thing with 4. So I'm going to just draw a circle. I'm going to start on the inside. I'm going to draw a smaller circle. Bam. I still haven't done the center, the home circle. The label circle out here. Whoops, got to move my pencil out a bit. So that's where I'm going to label it. And so we're just going to bisect this, and that just means you just draw a line across through the center. Anywhere where you hit the center is going to bisect the circle into 2. And now you have to draw a line perpendicular to this one. You can get out a triangle and do that, and I have one down here. But that's not what I want to do. Heck no. I want to do it with a construction. So I've taken the compass, and I've shortened it up a little bit, just because it doesn't matter. And I'm going to strike an arc on both sides of that. Those are equidistant. You could have used these marks. That would have been fine. And I can extend it a little bit just so I know they cross. I'm going to strike here, come back here to this intersection and strike here. And we know now that this is exactly 90 degrees to that. So do that again. Make sure that's clear. And I'm going to draw, there's a circle. Then I'm going to draw the label circle, which is a little bigger. I'm going to make the arcs full length this time so it's really clear. We're going to bisect this circle, and that just means we draw a line through the center. And we need 190 degrees up and down. We could take a triangle. I just leave the ruler right where it is. I do a lot of tool layout this way. I'll do one line and leave this here. and then I slide the triangle on there, and I could put it there and strike that line. But I want to talk to you about constructions because I'm excited. Okay, here's why I did it over, because it would have been so easy to use these circles. So I didn't move anything. Bam. So I'm just going to strike an arc here. I'm going to come here to where this one intersects an inside circle and draw that. And if you connect that to the center point, these are all perfectly 90 degrees. In fact, we can lay this in here and see. So there you get your four seasons really, really quickly. All right, so those are two ways that you can lay out phenologic or phrenology cycles or circles. This is 4. It would be great for seasons. We use it for stages of a frog. I drew the pond in the middle, and then eggs, tadpoles, emerging legs, and then the adult frog. You could do all 12 months of the year with something. Weather, I think, would be great. Whatever the memorable weather is of that time of year. I think flowers would be great. Things would be dormant, but in March things would start emerging, and you'd still get flowers until over here in November, and they'd start browning out, and the end of the mums, and pick up some, I don't know, maybe start drawing pumpkins. I don't know. Christmas trees in here. Doesn't matter. There are no rules. The idea is that you get in your journals and you collect thoughts that are important to you, that you want to remember, and you start asking questions and finding the answers through your own observation and your own discovery. Thanks a lot. This is Jeff Davis, Workshops of GB Davis, talking about nature journaling. Do not forget, we have another class coming up. I think it starts, I got the calendar right here, I can look. This isn't high quality production. Look, you can look too. Starts on the 11th, on June 11th. We'll be starting that again. And you can go to my website, gbdavisfolkart.com, and there's a link there that will lead you to the Zoom site where you can register. Register on the Zoom site. I don't need to have your name. I can get it from there. So thank you very much. You can look at my mug again. It's great to see you. And we'll see you on June 11th when we get things going again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.